Hello everyone, this is Cosm. Today we're playing Sherlock Holmes The Awakened. Now I know next to nothing about this game, so is Sherlock Holmes spooky? We'll find out. Now the intro, all the cards showing up before the main page here are pretty important, I think. Give them a look. So let's get into it. Here we go. London. Maybe? Shadow over London. Yes. Fish people. Baker Street. I know that from all my knowledge of Sherlock Holmes from the TV show and the movies. I take it that's
Dr.
Watson.
Watson, would you kindly close the door behind you so that we can limit the price of your carelessness to merely hours of work rather than days?
My apologies, Mr. Holmes. I found myself rather taken aback. I saw tidier houses in war-torn Afghanistan. Are those my surgical needles?
I ran out of tacks and the matter required immediate attention.
Was that my supper?
Plainly not, for I was the one who ate it.
I set it aside for this evening.
And for that I am grateful.
Is that my bed?
Watson, since you've proven yourself a master of observation, might I ask you to apply your skills to a more pertinent question? Namely, the whereabouts of today's newspapers. They are the key to everything. The newsboy is usually reliable.
Medically speaking, I often find that the key to everything is good sleep. In a bed. Your papers are here, on the table.
Let us see what the postman brought today.
Alright, let's get to it. We can interact. Ooh.
Your order from Barnes' bookshop has arrived, Doctor.
Barnes insists on delivering the books to our door, even though we could easily walk to his shop. That's good service.
Another letter from Werner. I never reply, but they keep coming.
What is Werner? London Advertiser, September 28, 1882. Tensions between England and Sweden are running high after a series of unfortunate mishaps during the recent visit to London by Swedish Princess Ilda. Chief among the scandals was the embarrassment of the British diplomatic corps as a result of the unexplained disappearance of Princess Ilda's personal bodyguard. The long-time member of her inner circle took the opportunity to explore London while off duty and never returned from his late-night promenade.
Local gossip, all of it uninteresting.
I bet he's already figured out what's happened though.
I don't see the Strand. Where is it?
Pardon me?
I am on the precipice of uncovering a pattern of crime across London spanning many months and involving many men. The missing paper cannot be a coincidence.
That's preposterous.
My dear fellow, life is infinitely stranger than anything which the mind of man can invent.
Well, life used your newspaper to wipe its posterior, so after that unpleasant discovery this morning, I disposed of it. But in lieu of the Strand, perhaps I can deliver you something equally tantalizing. I have just returned from a patient of mine, Captain Stemwick, who...
No, that will not do. Grab your coat, Dr. Watson. Let us hope nobody has collected the dustbin.
Let's just have a look around first. The state of this place.
I'm close, I know it. I just need one more piece to crack the case.
Interesting.
The dustbin is yours for the digging, Mr. Holmes.
Oh, Watson, why? Oh. We can sprint. It's rainy today. Why not dress in something more appropriate for the weather? Open the casebook with C, navigate to the wardrobe tab, and put on a hat. Oh. Oh. Watson brought in the morning's post, but the strand is missing. He disposed of it before entering the building because the pages were soiled. There's still a chance it might be found in the dust. And the book from Barnes. Among our morning deliveries is a book for Watson. It was from Mr. Barnes, the bookseller, who prefers to do deliveries himself. Attached to the book is Barnes' business card, which includes the address of his store just around the corner. Okay. Let's get the overcoat, so we can pretend we're in Bloodborne. Very nice. Look at this place. Marvelous. Alright, let's clear out some stuff.
You were mistaken, Dr. Watson. The paper was indeed dirtied, but not how you implied. It's potting soil.
Yeah, take that, Watson. What is this?
A cactus spine. If it gets in your skin, it's awfully tricky to remove, and when laced with poison, the perfect assassination tool. See, Watson? The conspiracy is real. Someone tried to poison me.
Poison? You? That's madness. Do you even have enemies that would want to kill you? Okay, perhaps from Cordona.
Back to back.
How about that Vogel fellow? He seems
Get the
rather
Strand.
obsessed.
Get your copy of the Strand
Would he
here.
do something like this?
Like kid.
Why go through all this scheming to murder you? A spine stuck to the newspaper is hardly lethal.
Get the Strand. Get your copy of the Strand here.
A ruined
I heard
newspaper
you.
is hardly the end of the world. We can always buy another.
Yes, we
A ruined
can.
newspaper is
Alright.
hardly the end of the world. We can always
Get the
buy
You there,
Strand.
child.
Get your copy of the Strand here. Sorry, Mr. Holmes. I just sold my last paper.
Blast. Then why are you still here?
Boss pays by the hour. No sense in returning early.
Yes, what
You're a
happened?
bright child. I presume you see everything that goes on around here?
Nothing gets past me, mister.
Then tell me, did you notice anyone suspicious at my door this morning?
Like the man with your newspaper?
Precisely. What do you know?
I know the value of a shilling.
Dr.
Ooh.
Watson,
Cool, now I can take the day off.
What did he do to the paper?
did you see what he was up to?
Nah, not really. I saw him approaching your house, but I had a customer. Then there's a loud bang. I ducked down. Not because I was scared, because I wasn't. I had to protect the merchandise. And all I could see was him kneeling at your door.
Which way did he go?
Not sure. I was distracted by customers. Sorry.
Tell me, boy.
Can you describe the man you saw?
He was carrying a lot of books. Up to his chin they were.
Never heard of a well-read assassin.
Looks can deceive. Hence the appeal of disguises. All right. You earned your shilling. That'll be all.
Thanks, Mr. Holmes. Maybe I could be your eyes and ears. If you have more shillings.
Apparently I don't. Got a new question in your mind palace. Open the casebook with C.
Get the Strand. Get your
Then
copy of the
navigate
Strand
to
here.
the mind palace inside. Select relevant pieces of evidence to deduce the answer. Ooh. Books from Barnes. Who ruined the Strand? Nah, this guy. This is cool. Barnes, the local bookseller, ruined the newspaper. The newsboy said the suspicious man was carrying a stack of books, and this morning Mr. Barnes, the local bookseller, delivered a novel for Dr. Watson. A cactus spine for assassination, a loud bang, a visit to Mr. Barnes is in order. I agree.
Come now, Mr. Holmes. Murder? Yes, Barnes has his quirks, but he also has his scruples.
Not every pawn knows it's part of a game.
What is this? Barnes Bookshop. This is a barber shop. There we go. Good you look nice. Barnes, where are you? Observe. Bags on the eyes. The effects of overwork. Ink. Newspaper ink? Nothing here. Oh, we can go around. Leans heavily on his right leg. In case we need to fight him, I guess. High heels. Wants to look taller. Mr. Barnes has developed a limp and has large bags under his eyes, the result of long hours of intense work. He is not very confident and tries to appear taller by wearing high heels. It seems unlikely that such a person would be involved in a murder plot, even if the ink on his hand suggests that he is the one who soiled the newspaper. Nevertheless, Mr. Barnes could still be a pawn in a bigger plan without his knowledge. Mr. Barnes has large bags under his eyes, the result of poor sleep and stress. He has developed a limp, likely the result of an attack. He wears high heels to look taller or stronger, presumably to deter future violence. Mr. Barnes is being threatened by someone and might be involved in a plot against me. This is interesting. I like these choices. I'm gonna go with blackmail victim.
Mr. Barnes, a word. Oh, for goodness sake.
Okay. Put a boot to the door.
Who goes there?
Sherlock Holmes. Now will you please...
Mr. Holmes. Golly, I did not see you come in.
Would you care to answer some questions for me?
Well, I wish I could, but I am deep in the weeds with work. How about we reschedule in a month or two?
Come now, Mr. Barnes. It will only take a moment.
Really deep in the weeds with important things. Well, help yourself to any book. Just take it and pay later. I trust you, Mr. Holmes.
Barnes doesn't seem like himself. Why is he acting this way?
You're asking the right questions, Doctor. Let's find a way to coax him out.
Ooh. Is that bat sense?
The ladder is broken recently, judging by the freshness of the wood. So, Barnes has a dog now. Who's a good boy?
Apologies, but I can't hear you. Please come back later.
I could hardly imagine anything more macabre.
Well, it is a time and place, I guess.
Basics of cryptoanalysis, cryptography in Egypt. It appears Barnes has an interesting hobby.
Exotic plants catalog. A catalog of exotic plants on Barnes' counter. The name of the catalog reads Everlasting Plants for an Everlasting Love. Huh.
Barnes has always been a little odd, but this is uncharacteristic even for him. We're looking for a cactus needle in a haystack. A spine in a book stack? No, come on, Watson, think.
Yeah, you can do better.
I like bookshops. One of the few spots in London where you are shunned for making a racket. Didn't you once tell me that answers usually lie in plain sight? Didn't you once tell me that answers usually lie in plain sight?
Yes.
An improvised stand, but it does make the flowers more visible. In the language of Mycroft's secret agents, it's a sign. Dried flowers are replaced when the job is done. I wonder who the recipient is. The finest view London has to offer.
I have no idea what's going on.
Didn't you once tell me that answers usually lie in plain sight?
The weather is dreary, isn't it? To be fair, my flowers could use the rainfall.
Let's ask her about him.
I should have worn something warmer.
Hello there.
People don't
What's
tend
your
to
name?
come from flower. Lily. I know, not very original. Have a look at my flowers. They will not...
Let's see. Oh, we can do this. Alright. Let's solve this mystery. Perhaps we don't have all the information
Unless
we
you
know
touch
of.
their thorns.
Here we go.
Encouraging people to stop and smell the roses.
Our national emblem. God save the Queen.
Hang on a second. Cactus thorns.
Plot is damaged. The blow was severe, but softened by something. Familiar spine. Is this what I found in my dustbin? It must take patience and care to produce a bloom so beautiful.
I imagine so. I merely sell them. Anything tickle your fancy, Mr. Holmes?
Observe. Distant look. Eyes. Avoids eye contact or distracted. Wearing makeup for beauty or concealment. Mourning brooch. Honoring deceased husband. Luxury fabric. Unusual for work attire. Clean boots. Changed shoes upon arrival. Still grieving, Mrs. Fleming uses her makeup to hide her tear-stained cheeks. Her dress is made from an expensive fabric that is not suitable for outside work. Her shoes show no traces of mud. She must have changed them when she arrived. While she tries to bury her grief by dressing extravagantly, she still wears a mourning brooch in memory of her late husband. Her gaze, always staring off into the distance, reveals her emotional detachment. Taken as a whole, one must conclude that Mrs. Fleming is still reeling from her tragic loss. Mrs. Fleming wears a mourning brooch in memory of her late husband. Her dress is made from expensive fabric. Her eyes constantly dart around the street, seemingly in search for something. Perhaps she is waiting for someone. While Mrs. Fleming cherishes the memory of her departed husband, she is trying to move on, as suggested by her makeup and nice outfit. Perhaps she is dressing to attract someone's attention, or simply because she has learned to love herself again. Let's go ready to move on.
Mrs. Fleming, you look particularly lovely today. Is there a reason?
Does a woman need a reason to look or feel beautiful?
No, but your distant look suggests you seek one man's gaze in particular.
Who told you that?
Nobody. Merely a keen eye and some simple deduction.
Well, I'll kindly ask you to keep your keen eye to yourself, Mr. Holmes.
Provide evidence.
One of these things is not like the other.
Come again?
The cactus. Those fearsome spines can prove a devil to remove, and the sap is often toxic.
And a rose thorn can give you tetanus, but we still grow them. The cactus seems comparatively harmless, though you have me thinking it must be valuable.
I was under the impression that you knew its price already.
Your guess is as good as mine. The first time I saw this cactus was when I came back from my break.
Ooh.
Mr. Holmes.
What do you make of the flowers in Barnes' shop window?
Well, they could use a bit of water.
Do they mean anything to you?
Mean anything how? I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Holmes.
Why do you think they're there?
Are you suggesting the flowers are for me?
It seems likely, does it not?
Oh, I hope you're right.
She did try to poison me.
Are you familiar with Mr. Barnes?
Yes. No, not really. Well, in a way.
What on earth does that mean?
I know who he is, of course, but we haven't shared much more than a look.
A look?
Yes. Each morning I go for a walk in the park with my dog, and most days I spot Mr. Barnes there with his new puppy, so we see each other. Actually, we once met briefly while our dogs played. He was quiet and seemed unsteady as he approached, but since then, we've never spoken. I often see him staring through the shop window. Sometimes I wonder what he thinks about that would etch such longing onto his face.
Well, well, well. I bring word, Mr. Barnes. Let's have a look here. So the dead flowers on display. Perhaps that has some significance. Oh, there we go. Mr. Barnes is in love with Miss Fleming? Barnes displays a bouquet of dead flowers to attract the attention of Mrs. Fleming, a florist. He may hope she will come into his shop and give him watering advice, or it could simply be a symbol of his desperation. Barnes anonymously gifted her a cactus, which he ordered from the catalogue on his counter. A questionable choice, but for Barnes a symbol of his eternal love, since the cactus presents these cacti, or the catalogue presents these cacti as immortal. Plainly, this is the same cactus he dropped on the Strand outside 22-1B Baker Story. Now to hear the full story.
I think perhaps I have been chasing shadows.
Do not despair, Mr. Holmes. Even the best of us make mistakes. We better tell Mr. Barnes what we've learned. Didn't you once tell me that answers usually lie in plain sight?
Mr. Barnes, I know what you did, and I know why you did it.
I'm sorry, Mr. Holmes. I can't hear you very well from behind the door.
You ordered a cactus from the plant catalogue and then left it for Mrs. Fleming as a gift. You place flowers in the window to get her attention and wear high heels to appear taller and more desirable. You are her secret admirer.
Dang. Call him out like that.
I couldn't read this morning's edition of The Strand because it was covered in soil and spines. I know you dropped a cactus on it and then fled.
Barnes, it's Dr. Watson. Rest assured we are not interested in disclosing your personal affairs to anyone, including Mrs. Fleming. Please come out.
All right then.
So, you know what happened then? I was on my way back from the post office, having picked up the cactus and some books. It was quite an awkward package, heavy too, and when I got to your door, I dropped the cactus and your paper. Forgive me.
I needed that paper to prove a theory and prevent a crime. Your actions were rather disruptive. Your clumsiness carrying the post is matched only by the clumsiness of your romantic gesture.
Oh, it's true. I am useless with this sort of thing. I'm not even sure if Mrs. Fleming noticed.
Let's help him.
As in most things in life, truth is the answer. Cease with the obtruse signals and anonymous gifts, and simply talk to the woman. What is the worst that can happen? She rejects you, and you are freed from this endless purgatory.
That... Yes, you are correct, of course. I do have a slight tendency to overthink things. Thank you.
So at last, we return to the matter of the paper. I'm investigating a string of burglaries. Did you perhaps read of any before the edition was spoiled?
I don't recall, but you're welcome to read our copy for yourself.
You had an issue of The Strand here all along?
Well, naturally. I am a bookseller. I have a subscription to every magazine and newspaper in London.
So you ought to be familiar with the concept of burying the lead.
Oh no, my apologies, Mr. Holmes. I'll make it up to you however I can. I am an expert on obscure languages and translation and
Yes, okay. Just give me the paper.
We'll keep him in mind for when we come across the Necronomicon. The Strand, saltpeter explosion. Locals at the Port of London had a rude awakening last night with loud bangs and thick red smoke disturbing the peace. Merchant ship Moskva had docked at Pier Number 3 in the early evening, en route to Europe, when it was rocked by several concussive explosions. The Port Authority is yet to comment on the incident, and it is unknown if any crew members were on board at the time. Eyewitnesses report seeing saltpeter leaking into, if that's how you say it, into the river. But with the area still off limits to workers and the public, it may be some time before we have a full account of what transpired.
Come, Dr. Watson. Let us put this matter behind us.
Farewell, Mr. Barnes. I hope to hear good news about you and Mrs. Fleming.
Look at us go. We're pros.
Well, that was an utter waste of time.
An assassination did seem rather unlikely.
There was supposed to be another burglary. I was certain of it. Something you wish to say, Doctor?
No. Well, only that you have a remarkable faculty for deduction and pattern recognition. And that perhaps, if ill-applied...
I see things that are not there.
Yes. It is London. There will always be burglaries. Doesn't have to mean anything.
So it seems. Forgive me. Without something to occupy my mind, I turn into an entirely different animal.
Which brings us back to my news from earlier. I think I have a case for you, a real one.
Truly?
Indeed. Though perhaps not as thrilling as your stories from Cordona. A patient of mine, Captain Stenwick, told me that his servant disappeared. I said I knew just the man to help. What do you say?
Oh, Watson.
Yes,
Sign me up.
I know it's not the most tantalizing mystery, nor the story to launch my writing career. But...
It's brilliant. Let's go.
Oh, good. Well, his house is nearby. Come.
Look at us go. Did Watson point me in the right direction? He
Not
did.
much further now.
Alright. Now, I think we'll end it there for today. Very keen to see where this is going. This has been Isaac Cosm. Stay tuned for more Cosmic Horror video games. Thanks for watching.